Okay, folks, here's my 1,057 mile update on the Jeep JK, the pros and the cons. I guess the first pro is everything works like it's supposed to. I fussed around a little bit with an AC line that I had some issues with. I ended up kind of making my own line, and I may end up fixing that. I did vacuum it down, I don't know, for a long time, a couple hours, and then I left it under vacuum for a long time. I actually went on a ski trip and left it on vacuum the whole time. Not with the pump running, but just under vacuum. Making sure it doesn't leak. But the AC works good, finally. Um, Replaced the heater core, did the heater core hack. The heater core was definitely plugged up. So those two things were fine. The motor, I love the motor. I don't drive it super aggressive, but more aggressive than what I should. Um, Driving it back and forth to work, driving around town. Of course, everybody wants to look at it. I got the hood up a lot, idling a lot. I get 15 miles a gallon. 15 miles a gallon. I think if I got on the highway, set the cruise, and ran the speed limit, I think that would increase exponentially. But I don't. I drive the speed that the Texans drive down here. I don't drive in the fast lane. I drive in the middle lane. We're driving 80 miles an hour back and forth to work. I do have a lot of stoplights. Probably a little bit more aggressive than what I want to be. Not as aggressive as I could be. I have spun the tires a couple of times just to see what it would do. Nothing super aggressive, but I'm getting 15 miles a gallon. I got 18 miles a gallon out of the V8. The V8 would not run a consistent 80 miles an hour. I usually set the cruise control and ran about 70 like a decent human being should. Engine problems, none. I've had no engine problems. There on the LT motor, there's a steam port that comes out of the thermostat housing. The steam port gets plugged into. They gave me a brass fitting for my radiator. So on the driver's side of the radiator, there's a fitting. You screw that in there, and that lets all the steam and air pockets escape out of the motor. Very simple. I had to do a little bit of playing around with the radiator hoses. I actually got a hose that wasn't recommended. I just went down to the AutoZone with the shape that I wanted, and literally the first hose I looked at did it. Really, this is a project that if you're a do-it-yourselfer, the lift definitely helps. But you and a buddy can do this in a week. I use the Motec kit, and I've said that several times. I would recommend them. Again, I would ask lots of questions beforehand. I think I did everything about the right way. The only problem that I really have is I'm throwing an EVAC code. I don't know if it's my radiator cap or if I didn't take the EVAP situation seriously. I did use the stock plastic line all the way up to the GM plastic line, and I did use a rubber hose that connected to, and I don't think I put hose clamps on them. So that might be an issue, and if it is, it's up on top of the transmission underneath the body, and it'll be a little hard to get to. But I haven't put a smoke machine on it. I've only had to code 3 times in 1,000 miles. I clear it, it goes. I'm not really worried about that one. It does not impact engine performance, but I do want to be compliant, and I do want it to pass inspection in every state, and it does. The exhaust, I did a 2-in-1, 2.5 inch performance muffler, 2.5 inch out. I kind of wish I would have been a little bit more aggressive on the exhaust. It's quiet. I mean, it's quiet until you really get on it. It does get people's attention when you start it. And for Jeep people, they can tell right away it's not a 6-cylinder or a diesel or a turbo 4-cylinder. So, it is what it is for that right now, but that turned out the way I wanted it. So I'm happy with this thing. I got a lot of stuff to do. I want to put an aggressive hood on it. Obviously wheels and tires. I still get the Tyler stock Steelies on it. It's the speedometer right now with the stock Steelies is about 3 miles an hour off. It reads 70 when I'm going 67 or 68, so not too bad. But if I go up to 33s or even 35, it's going to be closer. If not, I'll get the programmer and reprogram it. I have done no tuning. The transmission, it's kind of strange because it almost feels like it accelerates just a little bit right before it shifts each time. But it shifts good. Everything shifts good. So just getting used to the added these springs and these shock strips, I think I'm going to replace is if I can pull my little box trailer. It's not super heavy. You know, pull my dirt bike. If not, I might even find an open trailer to pull it. But my whole objective was to take a Jeep and a dirt bike and go to Missouri or Colorado or whatever, and be able to go Jeeping one day and go dirt biking one day. This Jeep is never going to be an aggressive rock crawler like my TJ. I'm not going to put lockers in it. It's got a little bit of slip back in on it, but I'm not putting lockers in the front or anything like that. It is not. It's meant to be a trail Jeep, not a crawler. So. I'll probably even put all-terrain tires on it. I want it to look good. I want it to drive good. I want it to be my driver. And I've driven it a lot. My little rig car is just pretty much sitting. I'm probably end up going to sell it. The only thing that's holding me on the fence right now is the economy. So we'll see. I'll see if I can drive this thing a little bit more saner in the next 1,000 miles. See where we're at. But anyway, an update on the Jeep.